I mean, perfect.
Yeah.
Like to call to order the meeting of the Minturn Town Council for Wednesday, May 20th. And we'll begin with roll call, please.
Spence here.
Lynn here.
Gus here.
Eric here, and Kate will be joining us shortly. Let's stand for Pledge of Allegiance.
The United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First up, we got approval of the consent agenda. I don't think there's anything worth pulling, but
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
motion by Gussie, second by Lynn, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And on to the regular agenda. Any changes or modifications?
No, we'd like to discuss and ask for a letter of support, but we could do that under the manager's report if that's okay with council.
Works for me.
Good.
Take a motion for the regular agenda.
I move to approve the regular agenda.
I'll second that.
Right, motion by Spence, second by Gussie, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And any conflicts of interest tonight? Seeing none, we will move on to public comment. At this point, we'll open up to the public. Anybody who wishes to say anything that's not on the regular agenda, now is your time. You may approach the stand or raise your hand on Zoom land.
We on the agenda?
What's that? Yeah, you're on the agenda. Yeah. Cindy, anybody online?
There is not.
All right, closing public comment. And councilor committee reports. We'll start with Spence.
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
I don't either this time.
All right, well, that's nothing. Yeah, nothing for me. So we will move on to staff reports and manager report first.
Okay, first, let's cover an issue that's come to light this morning. Let me share screen here. Send that request. The bridge at Minturn Road North, that first bridge when you're coming into town, when you turn left, if you're going towards Taylor and Minturn North, that bridge has an old bridge that's under it and it's been eroding for quite some time. There's a concrete segment under that bridge that is hanging and we don't know how much time it has, but we made a determination this morning. Jeff Spinell went out there and I believe he was talking with another engineer that was recommended to us by Eagle River Water Sand that this poses a significant safety threat and we need to do something about it right now. You can see that those concrete beams are just kind of hanging there. And I guess our primary concern is that if there's users of the river, people that are kayaking, that a piece of concrete would fall on them and cause serious injury or death. So we've reached out to one contractor who could potentially mobilize for us. We think this cost could be somewhere between $30,000 and $70,000 at this point. So I just wanted to bring that to light with council. Jeff Spinell is our town engineer and he's been working diligently to try to get some options for us. One of the things that he's going to do is check the rates that would be charged, like the hourly rates and what we'd be looking at before we move forward. But we would probably want to move forward on something this week and get somebody mobilized. And of course we could come back to council with a full engagement contract at the next meeting. Is there anybody on council that would want to just kind of be involved with this, maybe like a subcommittee level to just kind of?
I can help you with it if you want.
Okay, you and Eric will just check in with you and say this is our status. We've sent out notice to Eagle County Emergency Management. They're going to send a notice to the river users group. I've sent notice to CPW. We are going to put up some signs along the river that tell people it's a hazard and not to cross under it and to exit prior. And then we'll probably put on the electric sign and just get as much notification out there as possible of the danger to get people to avoid there. Luckily, the water level is low, so we really don't have a lot of people on the river. Any questions on that?
So it's not hazardous to traffic, it's hazardous to
No.
anybody underneath it.
When they built that bridge, they left the old one. And we're not entirely sure why that was done. We think maybe because at one point there was a footnote about it being historic. But Yeah, so it's been left there and it's something we'll have to address.
Are we repairing or removing?
Removing the under part.
Now, with that being a county road, it's still our bridge, though. I think I've asked that once before.
We accepted the bridge when we did that annexation. We own that piece there.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. I'm gonna be out next week and taking some time off, and I'll be probably like 8 hours ahead. So, if you need something, might just take a little bit. Jay will be in charge of the administrative staff. Mike will be in charge of public works. I have no concerns about that. But if you need something, just send me an email or text, and I'll get back to you when I can. And then the week after that, I'll be about half out. So I'll probably attend the next one virtually, but I think we're looking pretty light there. We tried to kind of move it here. And then lastly, the town of Avon sent a request this morning, and so I thought I'd just ask you now. They're looking for letters of support for their land banking grant application to acquire the 78 acres of land from the state land board on the other side of Eagle River for their housing project. Just wanted to see if that was okay with council that we write them a letter of support for their project. Fantastic. Thank you. Any questions for staff on the report or anything that's going on? Okay. Yeah. And you have your public works director here. So if there's anything for him, and he's going to be part of, we'll have another discussion item later about staffing. And if you have anything, he's here. All right. And then we have your broker here from Slifer, Smith and Frampton.
Hi, Pete Seibert with Slifer, Smith and Frampton. We're just here to check in, give you a little update on the Highlands parcels. It was a tough winter in a lot of different ways. And in our case, it was difficult with the ebb and flow of the snow level there to be able to schedule the kind of broker tours we may have been able to in a normal winter. So that limited our exposure that way. We have got a handout to you that has some bullet points on actions that were taken. I'll run through that, not item by item, but try to give you a couple of highlights. The biggest thing here is that there was a sale that closed May 12th, and it was a piece of property up in Lake Creek that we had referred to and originally applying for the listing and talking about our pricing. 80 acres up there sold for $10.2 million. And there are a few things that make it different, and not just in terms of the position in the valley, and I'll get to that in a minute, but also there was a small cabin, there's a well, there's a road accessing it, so there's some things that we don't have to speak to yet. But I think it's encouraging because of the market that we think this parcel is meant for. The family that bought the one in Lake Creek have a home in Arrowhead, have a larger family. They're from Austin. They would plan to make it a kind of a compound, but it's something that'll be a legacy property for that family. And I think in our view, that's probably the way we're going to get the best price for the property, is to find that sort of buyer. So there's additional information from the multi-list that Brent's given some notations on and so on. Also, what else is out there? I still believe this is really unique. We're working towards getting broker tours prior to July 4th. And so we'll have better access worked out by then. And in the meantime, we're lined up to meet with Justin Hildreth and get that access confirmed between what we need to do, what we think we need to do, and what they're planning on doing, so that we don't repeat or duplicate our effort. Let me see. I think that's the gist of it. We also talked to Tim McGuire so that we've got a better feel for what's going on around it. We'll get those questions as well. So I don't know, anything else I need to add to that?
You've got all the highlights.
I'll try to answer any questions if you have them.
Do you think we're still priced for the market, or?
It's very hard to tell. And if you look at it on a per acre basis, we're substantially higher than that Lake Creek property. Right. But at the same time, when I look at the actual number, it's sort of, it's like everything priced at a square foot price. And when you look at residential, and you can have a modular home and a high-end custom home, and you're not, square foot pricing shouldn't compare. So it's difficult to really say. We may be a bit strong, but at the same time, I think we haven't tested that. So I will know a lot more by the middle of the summer, and we'll have some feedback from brokers before the 4th of July. And if everybody comes back and tells us we're out of our minds about it, then we'll be back here talking to you again. But at this point, I really don't think so. I think if you can be patient, then maybe we can get the best. We're still working towards the best price. So.
Thank you.
I had a question on the photography in the winter time was phenomenal for what you guys were able to accomplish. Are you guys going to do some additional like summer?
Yeah, we've got it. We've got to go back and do all of that again. So, it's just, we're finally almost there. So it's getting green at least.
Yeah, perfect. Any others?
Well, thanks for getting it advertised so well too. I keep seeing it in the Bell Daily. I seen it, I think it was a quarter page ad one day or a third page ad. So thank you for promoting it.
And we have some more ads for the summer coming. So
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
things that'll be around a little longer shelf life things. So, well, thanks. I appreciate it. Lynn, did you have something?
Just thanks for the report back. And I assume we'll hear from you probably in July for the next.
More frequently than you have so far, I promise.
That's great.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Go Axe.
Yeah. That brings next to special presentations. We have speak up, reach out, or very, very.
Andy, I honestly can't figure out how to share my screen on here for some reason, so I might just have you pull up the PowerPoint, if that's okay.
I can do that.
Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, I clicked the link, but I'm not really seeing. Oh, is that all I needed to hit?
Yeah, well, yeah, and then just do that one.
Okay, wait.
Just share
Oh,
and then
cool.
pull up the presentation and we should be good to
Oh,
go.
yeah, it's up here. Oh, that was way easier than I thought.
There you go.
Wowie.
There we go.
Cool. Now there's so much going on.
Yeah, they were good. Let me minimize that right now.
All right, nice. Let's go back to the beginning. Awesome. What the-
Whose screen is that?
I think that's this one.
Oh, me.
The council Zoom.
Oh, it's the council Zoom. Okay.
Yeah.
Cindy's doing it. Oh, it's not this one?
No. No, that's just the thing.
Oh, do I need to do?
It's going on yours.
Sorry, I hate to be wasting people's
I'll
time.
just go and it's fine.
You're good.
We'll be good.
Yeah. I'll just get started because I don't know what's happening. Now it doesn't want me to pull it up at all.
This look like it's Cindy sharing.
No, it's definitely me. Cindy, maybe I will have you just pull it up because now I don't know what's going on.
Not a problem.
Sorry to waste time.
Okay.
Thank you. But I'll go ahead and get started. So thanks for having me, you guys. I'm Emily. I'm with Speak Up, Reach Out. So but for those of you who aren't familiar with us, we are Eagle County's Suicide Prevention Coalition. For some reason, I had this idea in my head earlier. I was like, maybe I'll bring some like fun energy to a town council meeting. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to talk about suicide prevention. So yeah, we'll see how well that works out. But yeah, I used to live in Minturn for quite some time, so it's nice to be back. I'm here to just kind of give you guys an update on, what we've been doing in the community and kind of where we stand right now. I'll wait for Cindy to kind of get there, but we really want to come into these meetings and discuss this topic because talking about suicide does have the power to heal. And we've experienced that firsthand. So our whole goal is to reduce instances of suicide here in Eagle County, and also help those affected by it address their pain. So through educational programming, events, peer groups, and partnerships, our goal is to bring community members together to learn and share their unique experiences. We'll skip the video tonight as we don't really have enough time for that. But here is a slide. I don't know if any of you can really see it very well, but this just kind of goes down some of the statistics as far as suicide by the numbers in the past few years. We really like to highlight that these numbers are all representing real people. So statistics are merely aggregate numbers with the tears wiped away.
Can I just ask a question here? So I'm sort of shocked that the age is so high. And in 2025, the suicides you have in the county, the average age is 67.
That is correct.
That's different than when I thought the national picture of who commits suicide is. And I'm wondering, are some of these people with terminal illnesses?
So in terms of each specific suicide, I couldn't tell you the number off the top of my head of terminal illnesses, but my general knowledge and understanding of these statistics, there aren't very many terminal illnesses that are involved in these specific numbers here. So our demographic with the highest rate here of suicide is middle-aged men. But there are some older folks as well, and so that's kind of what brings the average number up.
In 2025, the average age was 67.
Correct.
I'm just wondering, you got a bunch of 80-year-olds committing suicide.
Yes, so I love that we can laugh a little bit. Suicide, right?
Not what one expects.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. Like a lot of times we have these perceptions in our head of these kind of statistics and we think we know. But this is why we want to come talk to people about it, because a lot of times there are older people in our community right here that are taking their lives. And these kind of things aren't blasted in the Vale Daily and things like that. And so that's sometimes why like people aren't aware of it. A lot of this stuff kind of gets like shoved under the rug, unfortunately. And that's, why we want to come talk to you guys about it. And that kind of leads me into my next thing. The occupations with the highest rates of suicide in Eagle County are and have been for a while hospitality, and food and beverage, and specifically, and then construction as well. It's not guaranteed that seasonal workforce is included, but that's not really where we're seeing the non-resident population. Eagle County, our rate of suicide is higher than the national average, and the Colorado rate is also higher than the national average. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Eagle has a rate that's way higher than the national average. So that's kind of a good point to share with you guys. And I'm also open to some more questions at the end as well. So our theory of change is by engaging the community and partnering with schools, healthcare providers, workplaces, community organizations, identified target populations, and local leaders, and by providing education, training, outreach, and post-intervention support. We are here to empower individuals and the community to reduce instances of suicide and just overall promote well-being and mental well-being across the county. So some of our initiatives include our signature event series. Sorry, Cindy, I'm not really telling you what slides to go to. And I'll kind of highlight some of these in our coming slides. We also have peer support groups that we run every month. There's a lot that include grief work. There's a men's group. I'm actually about to start next month a peer support group for folks that are in the legal system and need support in and to highlight the fact that that's not legal advice, but just for anyone going through probation or any sort of court stuff, I want to be there for that population because I don't think that there's enough support out there for that. We also have support groups like our girl Kristen runs one that is centered on the loss of like pregnancy loss and stuff like that. And then we do all kinds of suicide prevention trainings for the public. We also go into workplaces and do free workplace trainings. So anywhere from, your restaurant staff to your town council staff to anything in between, we're here for that. And we also are in the schools all year long, doing trainings from 5th grade up until senior year of signs of suicide, school programming. And then we've got lots of professional development opportunities for providers and first responders because, as some of you may know, a lot of times these people on the front lines aren't always actually trained on the mental side of things. So I think that's something that's really important to highlight. We have really been working hard on promoting lethal means safety and firearms safety, and specifically as firearms are the #1 lethal means for suicide in the United States. And then our director, Erin, focuses on a lot of retrospective fatality analysis to kind of dive deeper into the why of, why these people are taking their own lives, as well as community response and loss support. I'm going to go to the next slide, Cindy. We have a multitude of trainings. I won't dive into each one, but we've kind of got 3 levels. So level 1 is kind of like 45 minutes to an hour. Pretty simple, but super effective. And level 2 takes it up a notch. These tend to be kind of like half day to full day trainings. And then level 3 is, for example, our applied suicide intervention skills training. That is a full 2-day training. I've taken it multiple times, and it is really awesome if you're able to carve out 2 days of your 365 days of the year to take the time to do that. So I encourage anyone who's able to do that to do so when we host one next. Some of our upcoming events on the next slide, we've got Laughter is Medicine coming up in July. That's our bilingual comedy show. So like I said, speak up, reach out, suicide prevention. It can be kind of like a dark thing to think about, right? You're like, oh, well, that event's going to be lame. It's just going to be like, super heavy and dark. But we want to bring, we want to kind of like take that stigma away and really bring laughter to the people. So we've got a couple of really good comedians that we partnered with, Mark Masters, for this event. That'll be in Vail this year. And we also have a storytelling retreat in August. So the point of that is so we can bring in folks from the community and essentially help them learn to tell their story on mental health and or suicide in a meaningful way. Because as we know, storytelling can save lives. Wear Yellow Day on September 10th. I would love for all y'all to get involved. I'll send Cindy an email beforehand. Essentially, September is Suicide Prevention Month. So we, that's our month. We're trying to dive into the community and just kind of like infiltrate everywhere and spread the word. So please wear yellow on September 10th. Later in the month, we've got our annual memorial ceremony in September. So we bring folks together that have experienced loss around suicide, and they're able to honor their loved ones with us, and remember and reflect and revitalize that hope. And then last but not least, one of our other signature events is our Dia de Muertos on November 1. So that's kind of for our Latino group in Eagle County to come together and celebrate their loved ones at this collaborative event. Cindy, how much time do I have?
You're fine. You can, yeah, keep going. You're good.
Okay, thanks. So this is a really big one that I want to touch on tonight. Language around suicide matters more than we think. And so many of us have just grown up and learned this narrative around it. And we've used these phrases for so long, but we're really trying to switch that up. So, choosing compassionate and accurate language. We prefer that, instead of saying committed suicide, died by suicide is actually a better way of saying it. It's a lot easier on the ears. Suicide versus successful attempt as well is a big one. And suicide attempt versus unsuccessful attempt. We also like to kind of mention describing behavior versus manipulative and attention seeking, and diagnosed with versus they're borderline or they're schizophrenic or they're bipolar. And also working with versus dealing with suicidal patients. So let's see if there's anything else on here. So when someone has a mental illness, they are not the mental illness. So I think that's kind of my biggest thing around this slide is just really highlighting that it doesn't define someone, right? So that's important to note. Next, I want to go forward and talk about firearms and suicide a little bit more. Safe storage is really, 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 really important. And we're really trying to help Eagle County realize that it's easier than a lot of people think. And there are a lot of resources out there to help, because storing your firearm properly can be the difference between life or death. Helping prevent suicide keeps all of your loved ones safe by putting time and distance between a suicidal person and a firearm. On slide 11, Cindy, I don't know if you can go back to slide 11. I've got a little diagram. If not, that's okay. We've got just a picture of a keyed gun safe, a biometric gun safe, as well as a keypad gun safe. So those are just like a few examples. And then
I apologize, Emily. I don't know if you updated these. My slide that I'm looking at on 11 doesn't have a diagram.
no, that's okay. My computer is also just being really funky. I'm gonna go ahead and go to slide 12, and just kind of start talking a little bit about options. So really any strategy that builds time between someone in suicidal crisis and a firearm will keep everyone safe. There's a few options to consider: getting connected with a healthy support group, seeking help from a qualified professional, storing firearms off-site temporarily. I think that's one that not very many people are aware is an option. You are able to ask a friend or family member to hold the keys or store them somewhere safe where they're not immediately available in a crisis. And also disassembling your guns and entrusting a friend with non-regulated components. How to request a locking device, that's on slide 13. So there are quite a few online resources for this, but I do want to note that we're going through a website change right now, but in a few days, hopefully we are going to have our own link on speakupreachout.org to request a locking device. So yeah, please spread the word on that. But in the meantime, feel free to reach out to Eagle County Sheriff's Office or visit a licensed firearm dealer. I kind of went through a little bit of slide 14 and kind of talked about our peer support program, but I think what's really important with our peer support program is that not everyone is going to feel comfortable going and talking to a clinician. Peer support actually helps so many folks who don't necessarily want to go that typical like therapist route at first, because they're able to sit down with people who are probably going through the same thing or something similar and connect on that level. And we have all of those listed on our website at speakupreachout.org. The other places you can find us are going to be on Facebook. We're also on Instagram. I share quite a bit of what's going on our Instagram each and every day. And we also have a newsletter for those of you who might want to check that out. Feel free to reach out to us to get on that. We don't spam. We send out about one a month, updating people on free trainings. And I think that kind of leads me into just how vital it is and how awesome that, you know, we are this resource for this free program. So like, please tell your friends, tell your bosses, if you are the boss, like, please contact us. We will take up an hour of your time and we'll try to make it so that it fits into your schedule as best as possible, and we'll come to you. And then we're also on LinkedIn, if anyone's on LinkedIn. I'm sure a lot of you know, but some of you might not. The Your Hope Center, our local lifeline crisis line, is actually now called the Vail Health Crisis Line. Vail Health took over Your Hope Center this year, but it is still the same phone number. And then 988 is still alive and well. I actually helped someone call 988 earlier that stopped by our office, and it was a really good lesson for me to kind of go through that process with someone. And then Vail Health Behavioral Health for all of your therapy needs. And then just to wrap up, you know, your support really makes a difference. 2,500 plus students, 5th through 12th grade, received suicide prevention training. Well, each year, but that was kind of our number this year. 97% of people are more comfortable talking about mental health and suicide after taking a training with us. And just under 200 students were identified as needing support in our school programming this year. So thank you so much for having me tonight. And let me know if anyone has any questions.
Thank you.
No? Okay.
I got one question, and if you don't know the answer, that's totally fine. But
Yeah.
do you guys have any kind of signage out by the bridge in Red Cliff or?
Yeah, that's actually a great thing to bring up. So that was one of our projects over the past couple years, was getting those fences put up on the Green Bridge. So there are also phones, and we do have some signage up there as well.
That's good. Appreciate it.
I have a takeaway on this. You guys must be doing something right, because since 2021 till 2025, it's been dropping and our population's been increasing. So, you know, great work with trying to keep those numbers down.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not something that you know, we can walk away from and say, all right, like, our job is done. It's an ongoing thing, and it takes all of us, you know, the entire community. So yeah, thanks guys, appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we've got, I believe, Jay. You bet.
Thank you. It's not very often I have a more happy presentation than what was just before. And I don't mean to make fun of it at all. Thank you very much. A couple of things. For the people in the audience that are applicants, we have an audit that's done every year. It's not because we're in trouble. I just want to point that out. We're required by the state to have an annual audit because we're a municipal government. The council needs to accept this by June 30th. And we've got our auditor online, I believe. Lynn, you were the one that brought this up last year, and we did discuss it. Highlands is included in the audit this year. It was assessed at, or it was valued at $12 million, which is the price that it is listed at, the two pieces together. Michael Chevron is here, and he was here on February 17th that week, conducted the audit on site. The audit is a snapshot picture of what our books look like on 12/31. It's not like a budget that you sort of kind of go with all year, that kind of thing. It's literally a one and done. The good news is that we are on solid footing and we have a clean financial bill of health. Michael will go into that a little bit more. I've got audit copies if anybody needs one. I put a letter at your desk in case, and I'm sure Michael will refer to it, the management letter. And then Michael, our auditor, is here to present. Did you have something?
Just on the cover sheet, the bottom of the second page, it says Town of Eagle. It's not a big deal at all. It's just, I noticed this looking at it now.
No.
But this financial statement, I didn't see Eagle anywhere there, so we'll just double check.
What page was that on? I can make that correction too. I missed the beginning of that.
Okay, it's not a big deal.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
All right. Well, my name is Mike Shervin. I'm a CPA, and I live in Eagle. And I'm new to Hood PC, but I'm not new to the Valley or to public accounting. I have about 10 years experience at another public accounting firm, and was
Michael, can you speak up a little bit louder?
Yeah. Is that better? Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
I feel like I'm shouting over here, but I'm in my basement, so I guess it doesn't matter on my end. I'll just start from the beginning. My name's Mike Shervin. I'm a CPA. I live here in Eagle, and I'm new to Hood PC, but I'm not new to public accounting. I worked at another public accounting firm for about 10 years and was the finance director for the town of Gypsum for about 3 years. And I'm going to share my screen here, if that's all right. Okay. So you should be seeing my screen. This is our audit software. So you can see we have 206 work papers in here that Jay either sent us or we scanned in from his documents. And the audit has three parts. It has a planning, it has a field work, and then the reporting. So in the planning tab, what we do here is we plan our audit. We assess the risk of misstatements. We read your minutes. So even though you guys have never seen me before, I feel like I know you already. And then in the field work tab, we tie out all of your balances for all of your substantial balances as of 12/31. Like Jay said, this is a snapshot at 12/31. This isn't like a moving target. And here, what we do here is we'll send out bank confirmations to validate what the bank balance has. We'll verify that your institutions are FDIC and PDPA compliant. We test your receivables, and you guys don't have an allowance for doubtful accounts, and that's reasonable for most governments. And with payroll, we review your processes for payroll and tie it out to what you reported to the IRS versus what's reported as of 12/31. And the goal of all of our field work that we do is to make the financial statements, which you guys have in front of you. And this is probably a little bit small on my screen. But the financial statements are composed of our basic financial statements, our fund level, our notes, and our supplemental information. And if you guys are a nerd like me, I recommend reading the whole thing. But if you're not, I recommend reading the management discussion and analysis, because that is my attempt at writing in plain English, how your financials are doing for the year. One specific I would like to point out is on C8, since we had Slifer here presenting the two plots of land. So this is where we recorded your $12 million. There's some other tap fees in there, but we recorded that as non-operating revenue here. And that's how your fund balance, that's the main reason why your water and sanitation fund balance increased from about 6 million to about 20 million. And then the other side of that entry was capital assets, which increased from about 12 million to, or about 4 million to about 16 million. And when you end up selling that land, if it doesn't sell for exactly $12 million, it's going to show up here as a gain and loss as a sale of assets, because, or gain or loss as a sale of assets, because we put it on at the fair market value as of the valuation report we received. And then we have the management letter, which I believe you have in front of you as well, but I have on my screen. This is a required document by the GASB, Governmental Accounting Standards Boards, that we have to submit to you. And a lot of it's quite boilerplate, but I would like to point out two things. So one, on page 2, right in the center there, difficulties encountered. We encountered no difficulties, and that is the standard verbiage. That's as close as auditors can get to saying something nice. And then on PDF page 3, we did not, we draft your financials. Jay did not draft the financials, and that's fine. That's normal. We draft them for all of our clients, but we do have to let you know that we drafted it. And this other one, number 2 here, is just saying you have a small accounting staff, so your role as a council member is vital to making sure that that you are part of the internal control process. And I am happy to go into more detail. I'm sure that was either incredibly brief or painfully long, depending on your perspective. But does anybody have any questions for me?
Questions? No, I didn't have any questions. I did actually read the whole report, which was long and boring, but thank you for preparing it, and thank you, Jay. I think we're on strong footing because of that compliment he paid you. There was
All right. Well, if council could go ahead and approve it. I did hear someone say Town of Eagle is written in here somewhere, and I'll review that and we'll get that corrected on the final version.
It was just on the cover page, so not in the audit. And I word search the audit, it's not in there, so
Okay.
we're good.
On the
I do want to point out one other thing, and I think Michael alluded to it. There are some towns that do the entire audit, everything, and then basically they grade it. I do all the checks, all the bank statements, all of the records, all of the journal entries. I work even on some of the audit. And so there's a lot of things that I think Rob's getting tired of me going, I need that second set of eyes. I don't want, because that's one of the reasons I'm not a check signer, is that it's just too much. It's too easy to not be honest, to be honest. And it protects the town when I do that. But I want you guys to know that we bring in the auditors for a couple of reasons. And one of them is to make sure that this chair is clean also.
And once again, thanks, Jay, for all your, ever since I've been on council, it seems like it's been flawless. So
Thank you.
you do an excellent job.
Now we'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the fiscal year 2025 annual audit as presented.
Second.
Got a motion by Gussie, second by Kate, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jay, you pass. We're on to the next business item. Interviews.
Real quick, everybody but Spence has been through this, but you've been on the other side of it. We're gonna do it by ballots. I've explained to both of the candidates. We had 4 candidates. One pulled out. Brian had submitted because he wanted to make sure there was at least somebody that would fill the seat. We have Hawkeye Flaherty who submitted, and I do not believe he's online. He told me he was going to be out for the Memorial Weekend, so I don't believe he's here, online or in person, definitely. I've explained to both of them how we're going to do this. We do it by ballot simply because it's easier for me to tally and count and keep record of it. But it is, I mean, the ballots will have your names on them, everything. I did make 3 sets of ballots, and then I've got 2 more. If we go more than 5 rounds, 1, we have a problem, and 2, something else, we might need to ask some more questions. But normally the way we've done this is we have the candidates will get up, have a chance to briefly, introduce themselves. The council can ask questions, and then we can go to voting. I did get a envelope from Tom, who's not here, and I told him to put it in a sealed envelope so that I wouldn't see it or anybody would see it. And then I asked Mike about it, Mike Sawyer, and he said, essentially, you have to be part of the quorum in order to vote. So he's not, Anybody has any questions? We can go ahead and start with however you want to do it.
Perfect. Well, let's begin. Should we go alphabetical order? Mackenzie, you want to approach first and
Great.
tell us a little bit about it?
So I just say who I am?
Yeah, name and address and why you're interested in joining town council.
Lovely. Well, hello, council and fans of council, I'm guessing. My name is Mackenzie Hanna. I've lived in Minturn for 19 years, and yeah, I think Minturn has seen me grow up, and I've seen it grow as well. And some things that I've really enjoyed, and other things that I would have liked to see change. And now that I haven't grown up, but I've grown a little bit, and I would like to be a part of the community a little bit more, and love it the way that it's loved me.
Do we want to ask questions now, or do you guys want to intro first and then?
Mayor.
Well, that's true. I get to decide. Perfect. We'll have Scott jump or say hello and tell us why you want to join. Then we'll do some questions.
Morning, my name is Scott Pant. I live at 532 East Taylor Street. And my wife and I moved to Minturn about a little over 2.5 years ago. We've owned property in Vail for over 20 years though, so we know the community. And when we decided to make the permanent move up here, we knew that Minturn was the community we wanted to move to. A little bit about my background. I have 4 years of corporate finance experience in the electric utility industry. I've also spent 2 seasons working for Kate as a snowcat operator. And the reason why I would like to join council is because when I've moved to a new community, I've always wanted to become a part of that community. When we moved to Denver, within the first year, I was on the board of a nonprofit there that deals with child neglect, domestic violence, and homelessness. And so it's important for me to be part of the community. And that's why I thought when the town council position opened up, I thought, well, I'll throw my hat on it.
Let's do some questions. If you guys want to, okay, if you want to start or
Sure.
anybody
Start.
For
for whoever wants to go first. It'll be the same question to either of you, both of you. Town council is a kind of an interesting thing because it's we're like a governing body, right? So policy isn't always the most exciting thing you can come up with, but I think in small towns, especially like Minturn, can be really like a positive agent for change. And so when we think about like policies that the two of you would like to see in the future, whether they're even achievable or if you've thought about it, I don't really care, but just like what in terms of policy would you like to see the council focus on to make Minturn a better place or sustain it as the great place it already is?
Well, in my world, I would like to see everybody working together, using their voices, and responsible growth. I think we are in a pretty unique space where we're tucked away from the highway, but this is still a very heartbeat of our valley, and we are very important to it. And so, yeah, I would like to see everybody work together and make this the place that everybody wants to live. Okay.
So when it comes to policies and governing, I've had a lot of time on boards. I probably have over 50 years of experience on boards, so I'm well familiar with different government policies and governing policies. I think the thing here is kind of looking at the code and making sure the code is actually working for the town and the residents and the developers and the officials here. I think is important. The other thing too is I have a big financial background, so my other area is to make sure that we have sound financials going forward, as the audit showed that we do at this point, and that we're making good financial decisions going forward.
Vince, you want to
go? So you're kind of opposite ends, 20 years and 2. Why now?
Now it feels like a really great time because honestly, I feel like an adult now, and I feel like I have ideas from. I've also had a lot of experiences in the Valley working in different roles, from being a boot fitter to I'm a territory manager now in sales and everything in between. And I think now I understand, the person that was the dishwasher, the person that, is our bus driver, who I feel like I just understand a lot of our people and how uniquely different we are from the Midwest or anywhere USA.
I definitely respect Mackenzie's 19 years in Minturn here, wanting to get involved, and she really knows the community here. As I said earlier, it's important for me to get involved in the community, and that's why when it became available, that's why I decided at this point.
Thank you.
I had 2 questions. And the first one is, if you had to identify what the biggest problem that we have in the town of Minturn is, what would that be? And the second question is, if there were anything specific and achievable that you would like to change in Minturn, what would that be?
Those are good questions. I think the first question, as we all know, is water. I think the biggest issue here is to make sure that we have a sufficient supply of safe water for the community here. And I think the council is doing well in moving down that particular path. But beyond that, I think one of the bigger areas is to make sure that Minturn is sustainable from a financial standpoint and from an economic development standpoint. The downtown has sustainable businesses there that can draw in different visitors to kind of develop the economy of the town to keep us growing with the respect of that we don't, that we keep the character of the city, of the town, the way the residents actually want it to. And I think that that's
If
important.
you were to be more specific, I mean, taking it down from the general platitudes, do you have any specific thoughts about what could be done that isn't already being done?
Well, I think focus on more open spaces for people, gathering spots, I think will be important. I think the town does a very good job with the trail system here. And is there a way we can then leverage the trail system into bringing in some dollars to the downtown businesses, I think is one of the areas we could have.
Great. I definitely agree with how I would like to see more business opportunities in the downtown area that people want to go to. I think Spence and Steph have done a really great job of the whiskey joint, making it a place where people want to be.
You get everywhere complimenting me.
No, it's fine. I don't think I'm still gonna drink whiskey. But I think that we have lacked that type of space, and I think exactly what Scott's saying is having more space for community to join would be great. But the first question, I'm sorry, what was your first question?
The biggest problem.
The biggest issue, I think, is workforce housing. If we do have some businesses here, having a place for their employees to be and to get to stay and live in Minturn and not down in Dot Zero or have to take a 45-minute bus into work. I think that is a pretty big issue. So I would like to see some better initiatives for young adults or people that maybe don't make as much money be able to sustain life here in this beautiful community. I know from my experience it's been a grind to be here, and so but I always want to keep coming back. I'm always here, so that. But then if there was something I would want that I could see change right away, is that what the other question was? I'm sorry, I am nervous, so my brain is just a little
Anything specific and achievable that you think we should do in the future?
Yeah, I would love to see the rec path go further down South Minturn. I think that's achievable because we've already seen the rec path go somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I have other ideas, but I think that one would be great because there's so many times where I live in Southtown and I would love to go for a run. And I know other people would like to too, but running on Highway 24 is scary. And bringing bicycles down there to Malloy Park. I mean, I think Malloy Park is something that is a hidden gem that many people don't use or they have to drive to. And why not go get an exercise while going to have an exercise? So I would like to see a rec path a little bit further down the road.
So would we.
I kind of have a 2-part question too. To start off, thanks to both of you for applying. Appreciate it. We have subcommittees also that we have to be part of, and we're going to have everybody divvy them up tonight. And my question would be is just to make sure that you guys would have the appropriate time to participate in a subcommittee, whether if it's once a month, once a quarter. And then the other part of it is reading the packet. Once in a while, we'll have a 700-page packet, and I spend my whole Wednesdays reading it just to kind of be up to speed before the council meeting. And my second part of the question, if you need to be repeated, I can. Both of you put in your application, protect the character of Minturn. If you could define that a little bit, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, character, cute, quaint, different. I mean, we've got different colored houses. We've got blocks and sidewalks and like we've got trees, we've got something sustainable here that, you know, again, like I said earlier, Anytown USA, we are so different from that. We're not parking lots. We're, you know, if you're in town, you can walk to your restaurant, you can walk to the bar, you can walk to go shop at Alpine. You know, we're different than everybody else. And so I think, I mean, that's why this place has always drawn me to it, because it's not manicured to be something that it's not. And it's a little, you know, it's not so polished that you feel like you're in Disney World. And yeah, the packet, if elected, or appointed, I would love to sit down and read as much as I can, and take the time to understand what the town needs from me, and give the best I can. Yeah, and the subcommittees, of course. It sounds fun to get on another part of the community.
Yeah, I have an understanding of the packets too, and the commitments, and being on a committee, and looking forward to that also. As for the character of the town too, also looking at downtown, that we're just not bolting down all of the 100 block there and putting up a big mall or something like that. I think that isn't what we want to do. But we and also in housing areas, kind of having more eclectic type of housing as opposed to you know, big developments. I know we have a couple going on right now, and there's good reasons for that, but hopefully that's not going to be the full trend of what's actually happening here in Minturn, and that we have the kind of eclectic housing, house to house, like we have along Taylor Street. I think that's the character that I'd like to see maintained in Minturn.
Thank you.
I just have a follow-up on that. Do you think that's by locking the code down or opening it up more?
It's a good question. As I answered in my application, that I think that there's some guardrails, and I think that those guardrails will have to be set at a point where we think we're doing it. I think if you open up those guardrails, that's probably opening up to more huge developments and stuff like that. So it's probably tightening them up a little bit, I think.
Could I ask Mackenzie this answer that same question?
I do agree with Scott on that as well. I think I would need to see the how we have it, the codes already, but I would like to see us sustain how different we are. So I don't know how to answer that without seeing the list and how it's read right now. Yeah. But I would like to see it stay different.
Honestly, you guys asked like every question that I had. So. Leave the room. Anybody else have follow-ups or? Yeah, we can vote. Thank you, Bob. Thanks. We're
The ballots are in order. Yeah. Make sure you've got the right name on your ballot.
What was the instruction, Jay?
Make sure you've got the right name. I know what.
Mine's spelled wrong.
But I know who it is.
Who spelled your dog?
No, Spence. It's SPE, not SE.
Jay. You know, I was the last of four.
So we're not ranking. So we're not ranking. We're just voting.
That's what?
Not ranking. We're just voting for one.
You're just right one. Just one name you vote for.
Do I just spell it right?
And there's
checkbox.
That was really complicated.
I just learned it.
Yeah, you're just going for it. It's public record.
Don't drop them. Don't drop them.
Keep it in view.
I think it probably was discussed at some point, but you both know this is just a 2-year term, so you'll be basically filling out my old term, then your election will be up for 2 years.
Okay, it came out with Mackenzie on top, so she's our new council member.
Thank you.
Thank you both for.
Both.
Yeah, thank you both of you. Much appreciated.
Um,
And definitely run one, like Jay said, when it comes. I went through the same thing. I actually tried to get appointed and didn't, and then I ran and got elected on, so.
Same.
I ran, lost.
Yeah, I lost to Lynn the first time and then.
I lost to Eric.
I lost to Gus.
We're just losers.
We need a
Go ahead
resolution.
and swear her in.
I can make a motion to approve the resolution appointing town council member Mackenzie Hanna to town council.
Second.
Motion by Gusty, second by Spence. All in favor?
Aye.
And now we can swear in.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
We get sworn in,
Okay.
and then you're gonna take your seat up there.
As the preacher made it.
Mackenzie Hanna.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
laws of the United States,
and the laws of the United States,
laws of the state of Colorado,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Colorado,
and the ordinances of the town of Minturn,
and the ordinances of town of Minturn,
and will faithfully perform all the duties
and I will faithfully perform all of the duties
of the office of Minturn Town Council,
of the office of Minturn Town Council,
on which I am about to enter.
on which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Okay, great, thank you.
You come sit up.
I said,
Now you have to sit
oh,
over here.
oh.
And you have to stay for the rest of the meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the plan. So you can get your things if you don't want to just hang them on the chair.
So you can look at your stuff, so. Should be good.
Close.
Get there.
How you get all your special assignments.
All right.
Should have brought it. Yeah.
Do you want a bunch of resumes?
Can I write on
Oh,
this?
yeah.
Yeah.
You need that.
I didn't know.
That's the-
Are you ready?
I completely joined the town council
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
How many Spence's pen? Is that right? Is it your pen? I like it. I like it better. Yeah.
3 and
You know?
only 2 showed up. 4 and 3 showed up.
Yes, I do feel comfortable.
In the middle of you being sworn in, I did drop the name tag into this picture of water. So if you want the water, just know that part of your.
That's for my other end.
Well.
Thank
That's the town
Oh,
council.
can I get that pen?
Yeah.
Or Spencer's cake?
Hey, Mackenzie,
Yes,
are you working tomorrow, or
I am.
if you would mind getting a hold of me, and I'll kind of give you the 101 of
Yes,
what you
I would love.
just got yourself into.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
Tie my shoes then. Yes, I will.
Health committees. Fun part.
Yeah. Council committees. Good list.
We ready?
I'm ready to go.
Ready?
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
And some of these, and then we need to talk about that. Some of these are significant commitments, and I know some of them are, we just.
And if I could just make a correction, I resigned from the Minturn Fitness Center. And it's not on here because it's not an appointed position on the board of the Eagle River Fire District, Eagle River Fire Protection District, which is hugely time consuming. That's the reason why I haven't volunteered for some of these other committees.
So Lynn is good. She's committed. No more for Lynn. But with that said too, we want to make sure that it's something you do have capacity for. This is a town council. You're very, very part-time. You have jobs, you have a lot of obligations. And so, be honest about what you can and you can do and you can't do. And some of these things, especially if they're non-governmental or, some things that we could just check in on quarterly, and maybe it's not something to dedicate an immense amount of time to.
There's one other thing, and I don't know if Kate and I have ever talked about it, but the Eagle County Housing Development, I've been serving on that one. So I think
That's good because I have not.
yeah, I'll say it. I think I'm the appointee and Kate was the alternate, maybe. But and
We
all
want to start out at the first one and work our ways down and
yeah, what would be best for you all? Oh, education fund is probably off limits.
I mean, it is my favorite thing, but
Yeah.
I've been able to do it for many years. So if somebody is passionate about feeling good about the youth, I will give that up.
Yeah.
But I do love it. And we'll keep it unless someone.
You can stay on it.
Perfect. Wonderful. Midturn Fitness Center, we've got Gusty is now the president of the board here.
for 2 years.
A little background on that one. Gusty is now the president of that board, so we need, and it rotates every 2 years between the Vail Ski Academy and the Vail Ski and Snowboard Academy and the town. This is our 2 years, so Gusty stepped up for that. Lynn, we did recognize that you had resigned, but we still had the list. This board meets 3 times, sometimes 4, but the 4th meeting tends to be July, which is like 1 month into their fiscal year, so it doesn't do anything. It's a Zoom meeting. Each of them are Zoom meetings. They just approved they just approved Gusty as the board president, and they approved the budget. And the next meeting is October, and I'm going to say the 12th because it's pretty much the second Tuesday of October.
And they usually only run about an hour. They're fairly short.
What time of day does that happen?
Usually 1 o'clock. We're like 1 to 2, I think is what we've been doing it.
I would love to put my name in there for that.
You have.
Yep.
Thank you.
Lindsay's in, Lynn's out. Northwest Cog.
The board of the
QQ.
board of the COG.
And
Think so.
now it's a representative for the town.
But separate from QQ.
Yeah,
they're
actually, they're 2 separate board meetings that they have. The Northwest Cog does more like with housing, and QQ's all water.
right. Water quality and quantity.
Yeah.
And they used to be mostly in Silverthorne. That you told me that they've been doing it down in Eagle. now.
Yeah, they have an office down in Gypsum, and they rotate back and forth. Like this last meeting was over at Silverthorne, but they rotate between them. You do have the option of doing it with Zoom. I was actually, myself and George split up QQ and Northwest Cog when George Roden was on here. He was the primary on Northwest Cog, and I was the primary on QQ. And then if one of us couldn't make it, the other one stepped in, and we just kind of worked together that way. Since George got off, I kind of was doing Northwest Cog for a while, and then Michelle said that was too much so that's why I was off at Northwest Cog.
Is it just their general board? I'm just clarifying.
It is, it's a general board.
It's not like their TAC, right?
No, you're on a board, just, you're a voting member pretty much.
But there's about 25 people at it roughly.
There might be more on
Yeah.
Northwest, because I know the couple meetings I attended, there was probably 40 at
Okay.
least.
I'm gonna get this wrong, but it is Summit, Eagle, Route,
Yeah, they route Grand,
and Lake.
and Lake, yeah.
I think that's what makes up Northwest Cog.
COGs are basically, and just in case anybody wants to know, like COGs are basically a product of federal funding. All federal funding for transportation has to run through like a council of governments or association of governments, and so that's what created them. So it is a bit complex and heavy.
And they do have a lot of grant opportunities. It seems like they've dropped off a little this year because of being federal funded.
Yeah.
But there is, I guess, get the newsletter all the time of what's available out there basically for money.
I think it'd be good to at least have a staff member as like an alternate there.
That would be much better. Their meetings are like in the middle of the day in a week and I can never go.
Their meeting runs almost all day too. It starts at like 9 and goes to like 3.
I just think it may have to be like council representation, but at least we could attend and.
Right. I know that I've been to a couple of those meetings, but I can't remember if I was on a board or if I was as a staff member.
But we'd be happy to provide staff support to an appointee.
We can also nominate Tom for things.
We've done that in the past.
I mean, he's gonna be on something, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
should we do that? Is that, so you have strong feelings on it?
I am a lousy member of this because I can never go to a meeting.
That's fair.
Honestly, try it. You'll just see.
Tom with staff support.
Yes.
Staff alternate.
Yeah.
He's in.
Just so we get this, and we'll try to just check in.
Perfect. QQ, you wanna hold on?
I'll stay on QQ, and if you want to do a little staff report on that one too, I'll be more glad to have you go to the meeting.
Yeah, I probably should just have the invites on my calendar just so we can,
Yeah.
so I know they're
We do
coming.
have one coming up in Eagle County here for June, I think it is.
Okay.
And this is nice because I'm able to Zoom these two because like you said, God, it's an all day thing. You know, we start at 9 o'clock in the morning and they go till 3 o'clock. So
But beneficial. Corn Transit.
I just started.
Yeah.
Good.
You're good?
We do want to keep Spence on because he got sworn in, everything, and we.
yeah,
had to-
he's ready to go.
Well, it's a little bit different procedure that they use because they have to notarize and appoint them and
Big deal.
it's a bigger deal. Spence is gonna stay on it.
Oh, and on the Colorado Association of Ski Towns, I would like to volunteer for that because I think it does dovetail with some of the issues I were involved with the fire district.
Perfect. Make that one so.
That was cast, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Cast is a little travel heavy. So just know that.
Travel and-
Yes, it's like they meet all over the place all the time, so.
Hey,
But I mean, we can,
I'm open to that.
okay, cool.
great.
So sometimes I'm just like,
Thanks for
I
the-
can't go to that, but somebody, if you're like, yeah, I want to go to Durango today, then perfect.
Oh dear.
High five media, did you want to?
Yeah, I'll stay on that.
Let's make sure. Radio Free Mentor no longer required.
Cindy been sitting on that, is that continue to work for the board,
Perfect.
the council, sorry.
Climate Action Collaborative, I do have to step down from that one.
And this one apparently is quite a lift, and we're the chair,
Yeah,
as we were informed.
yeah.
That's not monthly, isn't it?
This one is monthly.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It says.
It is.
This is also one of those ones that me and Eric talked about it, of like, if nobody has the time and capacity, we could maybe talk with them about having a staff check-in quarterly and not this.
Yeah.
I'd like that one, but core is also monthly and it's.
Yes, that's a lot.
I will say it was definitely one of my favorite boards. Like, it's very fun to be
I love
talking about the climate action or like just climate initiative around the county, and they are doing phenomenal things. But
I guess I would also say for somebody that's interested, like, I think maybe we would be like, hey, maybe our capacity is a little limited. We'll try to be there, but we should not serve as chair if we can't do every meeting and be present.
Yeah.
That's a lot for us.
So Tom, right?
He's the alternate. So he seems to step up.
unless if anybody else wants it. we can do it.
Does anybody have questions about what it is? I mean, I'm always trying to figure that out, but. No takers.
No takers. We can.
We can leave that open for now, but we need to, I mean, if we're the board chair, it's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we follow up with, see if the staff can do it, or does it have to be a board?
We'll talk, we'll reach out with them and talk with them.
Yeah, I
They
think
didn't
they've been
love the last time we sent staff, but
Yeah, they've been rewriting their bylaws. They didn't have clear ones, and so they want. I think they the consensus from the board was that they wanted a elected official to serve.
Okay.
But it's
Next.
yeah. Alrighty. Roundtable representations, Eagle County RPI Wildlife Roundtable. So this one I've heard was cool.
This one came out of the, didn't this come out of the RTAB? Or we always had?
We've had this before.
Oh, that's another one.
Yep.
Again, this is not like a government. It's kind of informal.
Yeah.
So if you have time, love that, but if not.
This does not have to be a council member. It can be a member of even the public, it looks like.
Okay.
True.
Looks like Brian's gonna do a great job. He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We could do that. I mean, we could see if he's interested.
Yeah, he might still be willing to do it.
We were checking with.
Yeah. He is he's been very involved lately. So
Well, the travel.
yeah.
On the Housing and Development Advisory Committee, does it have to be elected official?
That one, it might, but I can keep the Housing Development Authority
Because that's one where I'd maybe do like staff should probably
as a backup.
check in here and there on that one. That would be ideal.
Yeah, let's add that, and I can.
Because it could be me, it could be Scott, it could be Madison.
Yeah, that one is a lot of fun. Kim Ellis.
Awesome.
Eric, you want to do as the appointee and then find a staff or something, if whatever we can do for alternate.
Perfect. Yeah, unless anybody on council really wants to.
It's an important one.
I mean, that one's awesome, but it's also like Tuesdays at 1 o'clock.
Yes. Yeah, or Fridays.
Yeah.
But one of those. Yeah, it's usually. But it is quarterly. It's not a big lift in between. And I've been zooming into most of them. The ones that I do attend, they usually have lunch, so that's been nice.
Lunch line.
Yeah. More often than not, anyway. Perfect.
There's one other one that isn't on here, and that's mayors and managers. Of course, that's these two. And that's once a quarter. Pretty much.
Like every other month.
Yeah, there's a bunch of it. This
was
is
worried
pretty
about
heavy,
those.
but I wanted to point that one out. They're not just sitting back on their laurels and having you guys do it. Then we also, as things happen, we have things come up that we just do an ad hoc real quick, and we'll
Love
continue
those.
doing that.
Kind of like we just did with the bridge.
I love those. Nothing better than ad hoc committee.
Yeah, I'm on the ad hoc playground committee.
Here we gotta get that little.
Them on the water.
Yeah. You guys all good with that? Thoughts, concerns? Perfect. That was way easier than I thought. On to business, resolution number 27 in series 2026.
I just want to be really honest with the council that we're kind of late to the game on this one. And it's due next week. But I thought, you know what, like maybe we can pull this off. Because I didn't know a few things, and I learned those things over the last few weeks. That one, we paid Stolfus to do preliminary design for the phase 3 of the sidewalk. Obviously, we didn't do all phase 2 because of the cost, but we did do preliminary design on phase 3, and I didn't know that. And that's always a game changer with grants. Like if you've done some of that work, you can just go right in, finish design, get the money for construction. However, just with the knowledge of that this is going to be highly competitive. We've got the best of the best in the running for this, including towns like Aspen. I've just been seeing people's letters of support requests, but I just would like council approval. If we can pull it off, put it together, that's fine. If not, we'll come back around for the second round, for another round of it. We did complete a Safe Streets for All plan, and anytime we poll residents about issues they're concerned about, the sidewalks and the connectivity is number one. So we'll continue to look out for these opportunities. One other note too is this segment, that phase 3 segment, is going to be extremely expensive. The preliminary design, like the estimated probable cost, was $3 million, and that was in 2016. So
Great.
yeah, so
This is a matching grant too. We have to come up with a certain amount of percentage, like 20% or something. And that's
yeah. So if we can get it together and submit it, I think, we can make a decision later about whether we can meet that match, or we could also look for state dollars to help us meet that match.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 27, series 2026. Resolution of the town council of the town of Minturn authorizing submittal of a safe streets and roads for all grant application for final design and construction of the Minturn Main Street sidewalk extension phase 2 completion and phase 3 project.
Second that.
Motion by Gusty, second by Lynn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you, council.
Good luck. Next up, resolution number 28, series 2026.
We've actually applied for, well, this is the CPW one, which I think there was a previous version of this. However, what we're trying to do is we would like to, one of the first things we've talked about this first Nelson Williams infrastructure project, that the water line has to be replaced. And if we're going to tear up a street and replace a water line, we want to try to deal with everything else. But one of the first things that needs to happen is that trash compactor that's sitting on First Avenue needs to be relocated to some other site. We've been having conversations with them, our Minturn, about that. But we also think we can bring grant dollars to help make that happen and not just put it on the business owners or the town alone. This opportunity would potentially help pay for that, getting a new compactor trash receptacle area. We also would like to ask for some additional funds for more of those bear-proof trash cans that we have around town. We think we could use some more of those, and those were previously grant funded.
Any questions?
I mentioned this in an email, but I love compost up there too. I think if we can help the restaurants compost, it reduces their trash by half, if not more. And we have so many restaurants, there's a lot of food waste. I think the more we can put that out there, granted, even Beaver Creek with their compost and Vale, like it does attract bears. As even if they can't get to it, they can still smell it. But I think composting would reduce or increase our waste diversion incredibly.
I think on the next one, the circular communities, that's exactly what that grant's looking for. And I think we were hoping to maybe try to get both of these or use the circular communities more for like a, not only like the trash, but the recycling and compost, like a small like hub for those businesses.
I stepped ahead.
Yeah.
So I'll move to approve resolution number 28, series 2026, resolution authorizing a grant application for the CPW Human Bear Conflict Reduction Grant.
Section. Go ahead, Kate.
Motion by Lynn, second by Kate. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank you.
I believe we've got resolution number 29, series 2026.
Yeah, and so this is the Circular Communities Grant. This grant really tries to focus on waste diversion. So this grant would not want to pay for an actual trash compactor, but we could pay for like a cardboard compactor, compost type things, and recycling bins. And I think we got to be a little creative because we're so space limited over there, and we really don't want to have a bunch of trash cans in front of every property. So having some type of site or some type of lockable containers for the different recycling so things can get sorted out in one place for all the property owners over there, I think would be great. And that's what we're trying to do here.
So I move to approve resolution number 29, series 2026, resolution authorizing a grant application for the Colorado Circular Communities Impact Grant.
Second.
We got a motion by Lynn, second by Kate. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Last but not least, we got resolution number 30, series 2026, builders risk insurance.
One of the things we need for the construction for the water treatment plant is we need to have a builder's risk insurance policy to cover accidents, issues, fire, etc. that could happen on the construction site. The proposal that went out to you was something that JHL, our contractor, got, but I don't know if you noticed, there was also a substantial markup on that cost. I have two quotes back. I left paper copies of them. One from a firm in Glenwood Insurance through Liberty Mutual that came in at $25,744. And then I had another proposal that came in from the gentleman I've been working. Both these people were we're from a list that the town attorney provided me with. Yeah. And they were a little bit lower than that. One of the things that's kind of sorry, I just want to grab that one. Thought I didn't actually copy it.
I have two. Do you need?
Here we go. I got it. from Mountain West Insurance, Hanover Insurance Group. That number was 24,391, so it was a little bit lower than the Liberty Mutual. However, we don't need to, this is kind of an estimate. One of the things that we need from the contractor, and this has been communicated to them, but I'm still waiting, is a schedule of values. What are the values of the different components of the work? Because some components of the work don't need to be covered. Like ground and earthwork is, you know, when I was talking with Mountain West, they're like, usually you don't cover that because it's what's going to happen. And so they could
lower after that.
Yeah, so we could refine it once we provide either of these firms with a schedule of values. So I think maybe the most productive thing, if council's, and we're not going to start mobilization until the 3rd week of June, so there's nothing to insure. So if council's okay with it, if we could work to negotiate maybe with both of these firms, provide them a schedule of values and refine that dollar amount, I think we can comfortably say it's going to be less than $26,000 at this point, and that we don't want to go with the JHL for substantially more, if that would be okay.
Do we want to continue this?
So, yeah, can we do resolution number 30, or are you just
I
looking
think
for
they can just
approval?
authorize that.
Negotiating with both insurance companies.
To negotiate with both and take the lowest. Would that be appropriate? In consultation with the town attorney?
I would be in favor of.
That'd be great.
So do we approve this as amended?
I think we know.
I don't even know if we have to.
We're not ready yet.
Let's just do it just as
A motion,
Direction.
a direction.
Do that.
You want to vote or we're good?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We'll read
So
that.
directed.
That's good.
Directed. Thank you for looking for cost savings. That's
Yeah, well, your town attorney recommended some firms and they got us some lower numbers. And I forgot to say, we would like to request a continuance on this. There's some missing pieces of information that we want to have for you. We have the speed data and we have a memo, but we wanted to prepare like some better options for what could be deployed before we get into it, if that's okay. So if we can have the June 3rd or the meeting after. What's better for you? Let's do the 20th.
June 20. It is.
17. Yeah, sorry, I'm just projecting today.
3 + 14 is 17.
17 for speed data. Perfect. Public works staffing.
Yeah, so Director Martinez here. We just wanted to kind of come get some council direction and make sure this was okay with council. One of the things that we wanted to do is we've historically had a public works supervisor, and we actually never had a director before Mr. Martinez, at least not for a very, very long time. But we want to have a separate leadership role so somebody can provide supervision kind of like as a working foreman, especially when Mike takes time off or on snow days when we have a team on, a team off. And one of the things with the supervisor position was with our hiring ranges, it's a significant amount of pay. And we wanted to maybe look at splitting that role. So we have the supervisor role, we have a lead role that would come in a bit lower. That could be more competitive for people that don't have a lot of leadership experience in public works. And obviously it would be posted publicly and open to everybody, but I think, you know, with some of our internal candidates, their experience is limited, and this would give an opportunity for them to be in a role where they can train and move up with the town. And also take on less of a burden for the town financially, you know, while we find somebody who's a good fit. Do you have any other comments to kind of our thought process there?
I just think that's a great opportunity for the town to have the lead position as opposed to the supervisor position. And right now, that person would be very vital to public works. So we're looking on moving forward with that.
And one of the things I did last year was I did put everybody on ranges, and I did the best to try to, because we've never had ranges before, but to try to range everything out. And we have a lot of positions in here that we don't fill, but it just keeps a range so that we can have positions to promote people to based on their experience and how they grow with the town. And also so the town can know like what are its obligations with, you know, each full-time equivalent employee that it has. And so we put in the lead here, it's the hiring hourly would be $36.45, whereas the supervisor's at $42.71. So it's kind of a step between equipment operator 2 and the supervisor role. In the memo, it was clear that we have no intention of having a lead and a supervisor at the same time.
So it's not totally clear to me what the difference between a lead and a supervisor is, but it seems like we want to hire a less experienced person and have them develop. And by not having a supervisor, Mike, it makes your job more difficult, but it sounds like you're okay with that.
Yes, yes.
You don't see that as, so if you're okay with that.
I'm okay with that because I think in general, anyone that comes in to Minturn in a supervisor role will have to be taught a lot of stuff anyway. So it's kind of the same thing with the lead role, kind of doing the same thing, bringing that person up to take the responsibilities of a lot of these projects that we got going on with the water plant, Taylor Street project, just a lot of projects that will really help out and take the lead.
And now that we have a direct, like, because we didn't have a director before, so the supervisor was like the role.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now that we have a second layer of leadership,
Okay.
it makes more sense to bring people up.
I think this makes a lot of sense and I agree 100% with it. I would like to see, Rick, looking through like kind of the job duties is maybe they're able to get, I know like the field crew down at Eagle River Water and Sanitation District, they got certifications, you know, like for the collection and distribution of the lines. Same way with maybe water. Maybe we have that as a stepping stone for them if they get certification, maybe down the road, say 3-5 years after they're feeling comfortable and they get certifications. That gives them a chance to move into the supervisor role. It's kind of gives them some direction and incentives to move up.
Right. And then another thing that I wanted to recommend too is also them taking us leadership and supervisory role at CMC.
That sounds like a good one.
Yeah, to kind of bring them up and understand leadership. But
You bet.
And that's kind of what we've been doing with the two maintenance technicians that we've hired. We've kind of set the goal of like, once you get your CDL, you know, we'll move you up. And so that's kind of been their first thing. And so I think for a lead, you know, getting that class B or class A system operator for water could be a really great goal. And just for the council too, I think right now Mike is literally all the above, you know, like he's literally out there operating an excavator, but then trying to also be involved in things like the water treatment plant and be involved in these projects. And so our hope is to maybe in a year or two, we can get Mike a little bit more involved in your capital projects. So it's not, you know, it's somebody with that on the ground expertise, you know, that can be out there monitoring the contractors, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to, which is a bit more challenging for me to do. Sometimes I'm not on the street as much. So this, I think, is a step in that direction of getting Mike more into an oversight role.
Definitely makes sense. Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Oh, yeah, legislation.
Well, the legislative session is over. Hopefully the damage was minimal from the legislature. The two bills that you supported were passed. That's great news. A lot of last minute bills moving money around as the state is looking to fill substantial gaps due to cuts that have to be made because of Tabor. But nothing substantial for the town. Obviously, there's going to be reductions in affordable housing money that's available. There's going to be reductions in transportation funds that are available from the state. So those things kind of impact us. But other than that, nothing majorly serious in this session for us. Any questions or concerns for staff?
Thanks for keeping us up to date on all that.
No problem.
I assume we'll probably be hearing it again when they go back into session in the fall then.
If there's a special session for some reason, we'll let you know.
Okay.
Back to next year.
Otherwise it'd be January.
Okay.
Unless there's a special session to deal with taxation or something of that nature.
They get a lot of time off.
Yeah. Does the governor sign these or does it, what happens?
The bill?
Yeah.
He signs the bills. Usually I write in there if it's passed, he's signed it.
Okay.
If it's pending, I think I try to say it's pending. So like House Bill 26-1313 hasn't been signed at the time I wrote this, but it was approved by both bodies. And usually the governor's pretty transparent of when he says I'm not going to sign it, they just drop it and they don't even send it. So.
And then a lot of them are subject to referendum. So there's like a 90-day waiting period for some.
Yeah, so some don't go till August.
Yes. It's fun to be.
That's it, I guess. I thought there was more on this agenda, but
Yeah. Any future meeting topics we want to?
June 3rd, there's three presentations you guys are gonna be presented. One of those things is Blair McGeary from Excel Energy, and she wants 45 minutes of your time. She has been very responsive and helpful to us on a numerous amount of issues. The sidewalk project, she's helped us out there, the gas line with the fitness center. And so she's kind of like their liaison for customers and people like us. And so I said, hey, if everything goes well with our sidewalk project, you'll be talking with a happy crowd. And if not, then not so much. So, but she's really been doing it for us lately. So I appreciate that. And then the 17th, you got Repoint DDA. Our intern that we hired has been doing a lot of side hustles, but Jessica Copeland, she's going to be here to present her presentation on our housing strategy for the future. I know we talked a little bit about the Regional Housing Authority and there was numbers there and we're just like, well, what are we going to do with this? Well, me and her and Scott and Madison have been working on what we could do if we decided to participate. She's going to present to the Planning Commission at their next meeting, get some feedback from them on a potential way that we could participate, what that would look like, and then she would like to come and present to you and talk to you about it. Anything else you think is super important? Traffic code still, we got July 1. Cindy, anything?
I don't think so.
The speed study, I think, yes, the 17th. And then I was looking at a grant. There's the Federal Lands Access Program grant. It's federal dollars for road and transportation infrastructure that leads to federal lands. Cemetery Road seems like a perfect candidate for that. That bridge is in need of some repairs, and that road, we've never actually substantially improved it. It's just something we've kind of patched over time. I think that'd be a great candidate for that grant program. If it's getting some dollars, and maybe we could use it to put in a trail over there. So I'd like to talk to you about that on the 17th.
Good. Sounds great.
Yeah.
Still here waiting to hear back from the Eagle County Commissioners. They'd like to come talk to you in August or September. Do a joint session with them. They'd like to come here.
That'd be great. Awesome. It's been a minute since we've been into it. So,
Oh yeah, that's right. There's one more thing.
Like already what to do on that one.
yeah, do we have to read it or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can do it if you want real quickly.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn regular session and reconvene an executive session to pursuant to CRS and 24-6-402 4A, 4B, and 4E concerning the potential purchase, acquisition, lease, transfer, or sale of any real, personal, or other property interest. Conferences with the attorney for local public body for the purposes of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions and determining positions related to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and instructing negotiators. Topic is 171 Main Street in the town of Minturn.
Motion by Gusty, second by Spence. All in favor?
Aye.
For everybody on TV, just let you know, no formal action will be held or decisions made after.
Stairs, right.
So they can close it up there.